Now we're going to take a look at two different ways to find distance, one of which is using the distance formula. Now using the distance formula is as simple as substitution. So the first thing we need to do, again, is find our coordinates. So A is -5, -4, and B is 6, 10. It doesn't matter which one we decide is x1 and y1 and x2, y2. Same as it did for the midpoint. It's completely arbitrary. So if you want, you simply assign, here's x2 then, and y2, and substitute. So anywhere I see x1, I substitute -5, etc., etc. So let's do our substituting. So now we've substituted in all of our values. x2 is 6, x1 is -5. y2 is 10, y1 is -4. So now we simplify and combine. So now we're left with d equals the square root of 6 minus -5 is 11, 10 minus -4 is 14. So we will square them and add them in the next step. So 11 squared is 121. 14 squared is 196. So what we're left with is the square root of 121 plus 196, and we continue to simplify. So if the sum of 121 and 196 is 317, we're looking for the distance is the square root of 317. All that's left is to put this in our calculators. Square root of 317, about 17.8. And there's our final answer. So refreshing back to the start, suppose we didn't want to use this formula. There's another way to solve this. All it does is require us to count how far over and how far up we go. So first thing we do is count how many units over until we're directly underneath the other point. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units. So we know that this is 11 over. And then we count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 units up. So what we've now created, if you take a look right here, if we're 11 units over and 14 units up, we've created a shake right here. We've created a right triangle. When you have a right triangle, if this is one of our sides and this is our other side, right here, this is our hypotenuse, C. So we can actually go to something that we're probably all familiar with, which is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so now all we have to do is say, well, this is A or B. Doesn't really matter. These are completely interchangeable. The only thing that matters is the hypotenuse is by itself. So we substitute 11 for A and 14 for B. When we do that, we get 11 squared plus 14 squared equals c squared. So we square and add those two numbers. 121 plus 196. Right about now, this might be looking awfully familiar to you. This is exactly what was underneath our square root sign in the last example that we did when we used this formula. So what we get here is, again, 317 equals c squared. Well, if that's what c squared is, we undo that, of course, by taking the square root. And we're left with, yet again, c is 17.8, the square root of 317.